and my safe protection. I will always be around. Will it ever get sunny? Oh, I wonder, honey. I'm tired of being in the line. You say it will. I'm caught in your addicted brain. You say it will, yeah. I'm crossing the obsessive line. You say it will. I'm caught in your addicted brain. You say it will, yeah. I'm crossing the obsessive line. Wasted all my money, all on you, honey. Baby, will you look my way? Been ditching all my bodies, failing all the studies. Baby, I am out to play. Give me your attention and your sweet redemption. I will never let you down. Will it ever get sunny? Oh, I wonder, honey. Baby, how you make me sway. You say it will. I'm caught in your addictive brain. You say it will, yeah. I'm crossing the obsessive line. You say it will. I'm caught.
Imola, or to give it its full name of Autodromo Internazionale Enzo e Dino Ferrari. Sorry, I don't speak Italian, so I might have just mullered all that. Is a 4.9 kilometre or just over 3 mile circuit located in the Emilia-Romagna region, just off the northeast coast of Italy. It is one of only a few circuits which runs in the anti-clockwise direction. Technically, it has 19 corners, but it could be argued that corners 1, 8, 10, 16 and 19 are all curves. There are only really 2 straights, with the start and finish straight not being one of them. Good evening everyone, I'm Chris Hill and I'm pleased to be joined by my friend Sam Pearce. Good evening, Sam.
Good evening, Chris. How are you?
I'm not too bad, thank you. Looking forward to this race tonight. How's yourself?
I'm doing good, yes. Fully COVID recovered and caught up with life again, so yeah, all good.
Excellent. On the cameras, we have Mr. Shy himself, Tom Vandermeer. So good evening, Tom. I'm rest assured he's saying good evening to everybody as well. Interesting fact for everyone is that the current real-life track record here is at 1 minute 49.524 second lap, set by Tom Canning in an Aston Martin Vance's GT4 at the 2022 Imola GT4 European Series, which was run just over a month ago. That was a mouthful, wasn't it? So, let's see where we've been in this championship so far. Our first round was held at Kyalami with a 60-minute sprint race, before moving all the way over to the Nürburgring for a 75-minute race. Then over to our other Italian circuit of Misano for 2 30-minute sprint races. Followed by Zandvoort for round 4 with a 60-minute race. Then we hopped over the channel and ended up at Silverstone for the last round that we had for a 60-minute race. Tonight, as mentioned, we're here at Imola for a 75-minute race. And then the final round will be held at Donington Park for 2 30-minute sprint races. So, as I mentioned, this is the penultimate round of the inaugural Simsport Racing International's GT4 season. Tonight, for your enjoyment, we have a 75-minute race with a mandatory pit stop. The mandatory pit stop will take a minimum of 25 seconds for fuel only. A tyre change will take an extra 5 seconds. That really does lead open to the what's the words I'm looking for here, Sam?
I have no idea.
I can't think either. It's something to do with pit stops, because that's where I was leading on to, and strategy. That's the word I'm looking for. So we'll see some interesting strategies here. Will people pit just for fuel? Will people, professional commentary team as usual, will they pit just for tyres? Will somebody throw a fresh set of tyres on and try and catch somebody that's just pitted for fuel? So we will find out in the coming hour or so. You saw there a memorial to Ayrton Senna. Just thought I'd mention that it was 28 years ago, just the other day, that Ayrton lost his life at this circuit. So very poignant that we're here just a few days after the anniversary. So, Sam, with 100 points left to score, not including the drop round, it is still possible for our championship leader, Lewis Dykes, to be caught in the pro class. Have I got that right?
You do, yeah. So there's currently 45 points in between Dykes and Kieran Verdago, currently sitting in P2 in the pro class. So, Kieran's got to have a couple of, bad rounds in order for, let me get that right. Lewis is going to have a couple of bad rounds, but it is all potential. Anything can happen, and with 50 points and a race up for grabs, it can all change, and definitely be interesting and potentially tight racing for the next 3 rounds.
Yeah, we also have an amateur class running in this championship as well, which is with the champion already been crowned. She's my good friend Bas van Mellis, whose mum's in the chat. Hi Bas's mum. Has been crowned, and they will be carrying the number 1 into the next season, which starts in quite a few weeks' time. I can't remember the exact date, but I know we've got quite a long gap between now and then. But we've got another race between now and then as well, so I'll shut up and Sam, please take over before I start putting my foot in my mouth.
Yeah, Bas has had a very dominant season here in the M class and GT4s, and after the last round at Silverstone, he's clear of P2 by 145 points. So that's a very, very dominant showing by Bas throughout this season, driving in the Porsche 718 Cayman.
And just before we came on air, we were having a chat about how close the battle is for the AM class underneath Bas. Yeah,
P2 being P3 in that classification are still more than up for grabs. It's currently only 15 points sitting in between Mark Cooper and Evan Nietvis in P2 and P3. And then you've got Nicholas Malott sitting in P4, just 1 point behind Evan. So for those last 2 podium spots, there's quite a lot to play for.
And going into the next season, all the points matter, because the top 3 of the amateur class will go into the pro category, and the bottom 3 of the finishers will go into the pro class. Will go drop down into the amateur category. Did that all make sense?
It did make sense, yes.
What? How's that happened?
It did make sense. Yeah.
Good evening to everybody in YouTube. For those of you who are not familiar with our sim racing league, this is Simsport Racing International. We host GT3, GT4, a 2.4 hour endurance series, and a long endurance series of anything from 6 hours was our first race, up to 24 hours, which will be our final race of the season at Suzuka for the endurance. But we're not here to talk about that tonight. We also host iRacing and other championship, trying to think what the other one, Richard Burns Rally and Assetto Corsa. So if you like what you hear tonight, then please like and subscribe to us. We'll be eternally grateful, or until we forget, whichever comes first. Shall we start talking about what's going on the screen? Sam, do you think everybody's had enough of our waffle?
Yes, I think we should get to some racing. So we've got just under 12 minutes of qualifying left, and interestingly, track temperature already up to 33. Now, the races that I've been watching over the past week or so and at Imola, because a lot of other endurance racing championships have been at Imola then this week because of the Ayrton Senna memorial anniversary. And whenever the track temperature has been over 30, tire wear has become a very, very big talking point of cars just eating through tires. So what you were mentioning earlier on in the stream of whether drivers decide to change tires or not is definitely going to be something that could make a big bit of difference, especially if the track temperature goes up once we start then the actual race.
Well, it's currently 2:10 in the afternoon at Imola on the server, obviously not in real life. Actually, I don't know what time it is in real life, but I'm pretty sure it's not 2:10.
No.
I'm sure we go about
half 8 in the evening, I think.
Yeah, that's what I go with as well. I'm sure that somebody will correct us and find the actual time. that's a job for somebody in the YouTube chat to do for us.
Yes, and I'm sure someone in YouTube land can definitely answer that question for us.
They're normally quick to judge us, aren't they? Especially
Yes.
when we slip up. Anyway, we're waffling again.
Constructive criticism.
Yes, thank you for that constructive criticism. Not
Yes.
Anyway, I'll stop insulting people and carry on. So who's moving on up? So this is Thomas Van Schaik, currently in 10th position. He's not going to improve on this lap. Indeed, he sets a 151.982 there. 0.3 under. Nicholas Milot currently in 21st place. Is he going to jump up? He does, up to 19th. Now, Nicholas is normally quite a quick driver, so I'm surprised to see him so far down the pecking order at the moment, but it could be that he's not practiced.
Yeah, it could potentially be lack of practice, or it could just be track limits. Track limits are a little bit of an issue at this circuit, especially around the Variante Alta and Piratella. It's really, really easy to just dip in a tire just a little bit too far outside track limits, and the way that the track has a tendency of falling away in some corners, it just sucks you out of track limits. So it can be difficult to get some valid laps in.
And we're currently riding on board with Bass at the moment, who's 0.3 up on this lap at this current stage, with only 2 corners left to go. 3 curves, but 2 corners.
Yep.
Still showing us 0.3 up, now going up to 0.4. Final corner. Runs a bit wide. Now 0.5 up. Hopefully this is a massive improvement for him.
Yeah, staying tight down that right-hand side to get a nice short run to the line.
And it crosses the line and does indeed improve, but I can't see where he's improved. Oh, he's gone to 15th. Oh, that was a massive improvement as I thought he was going to do. I do apologise there, everybody. That was a bit of an anticlimax, wasn't it?
It was a little, yeah.
I'm going to get on the phone to him now and tell him to improve.
Probably put him off by seeing his phone suddenly ring.
Nicholas Milot has improved from what he was down in 19th. He's up to 17th now. Yannick Valenduc sort of ignore me. He was doing a much faster time, but he's
returned to pits.
That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Now we look at Patrick Vance, who's 0.1 up in the Pulse Motorsport 777 car. 0.2 up as he comes into the. You know all the names of this Variante Alta, is it?
Yes.
Hey, I'm learning.
Yeah, hey.
Runs slightly wide there, but maintains an improvement. Is now 0.3 up with just the last 2 corners to go. 0.5, but as he runs slightly wide, no, he's managed to get round. That car does lose a little bit of time, so he must have been distracted by the car in front. Takes the passage of least resistance to improve up to 9th position. Good lap by Patrick there. As we look at my teammate Patrick Tractor.
Yep.
Who's currently down 23rd position.
Yep, but currently 0.6 up on his time.
And he does improve up to 20th position. Come on, Patrick, you can do better than that, sir. Dennis Vertman.
Who else is improving?
Dennis Workman here is 0.8 up on his lap. Down in 23rd at the moment. Well, where will 0.8 put him if he carries on at that speed? Should put him around about. We might shoot up to 16th. Something like that. As he crosses the line and does go to 16th. Whoa! Bingo!
Nicely done. And I've just had a look at Kieran Vidago. Was massively up on his time. I think there might be something wrong with my timing screen. He was showing as being 3 seconds up on his time.
Yeah, his last lap was a 147.070, but it was red, so I suspect he's jumped because she came somewhere.
Invalidated, yeah.
But he is now showing as 0.1 up on this lap, which is still quite early into it as he goes around Toaster, is it? I haven't got a track map in front of me, honest.
Are you cheating?
Yes.
I'm cheating as well. It's perfectly fine.
That's okay then. Can't get bad done by everybody. I mean, we were having a joke about this over the weekend, weren't we, Sam? About not necessarily corner names, but you said it goes left, it goes right, it goes. Then there's a bit of a wobble, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, the only reason why I knew that is because I had raced there the evening before. So that was the only time that just happened to work out. It's because I had been on this track the night before we had that discussion. I'm normally not quite that good. Just being able to, remember a track layout from memory like that.
Jamie De Keyser there improves to 5th position with the second Pulse Motorsport number 77 car. Strong showing from Pulse Motorsport today. If you recall back to the Silverstone race, I think they were nose to tail for quite a lot of. Sorry, Patrick was with I think it was Andrew Richardson or Matt Richards. I got them two mixed up, but I know he was pushing them all the way. Thomas Van Schaik here, currently in 11th place.
Should be at least a place. Oh wow, up to 7th.
Great improvement.
That's a great lap from Thomas.
And is he our leading?
He is our leading M, yes. And the Audi R8.
Sander Vale here, currently 0.5 of a second up as he comes along the not straight. Where's this going to put him? It's not. I don't think he's going to improve very far, is he?
Let's put him up to 7th, ahead of Shank.
Like I said, it's not going to improve him very far, is it? I was looking at the wrong time. I was looking at his previous lap. So yeah, up to 7th. Danny DeSwart in the CBSR team car. I'm currently finding 0.4
currently
up.
0.4 up. Yep. So 0.4. That could put him up to 7th as well. Wow, up to 5th.
We're getting it all wrong tonight.
We're just yeah.
We're pants, aren't we? As we see somebody jiggle around a car that's there's a word you don't hear often, isn't it? Jiggle around a car that's just coming out of the pits. I'm not sure who that is. It's just run quite wide as well. Kieran Vidago currently in 2nd.
Yeah, pit exit here can be a little bit awkward if you catch a car coming up down then the main straight in just the wrong time, because right where the pit exit comes onto the main track is right into not only the racing line but also the main braking point for Tamburello.
Yeah, I think the drivers have been warned in the introduction to the chat. I've no idea what I'm saying now. As we watch Dave Hedges, 0.4 up.
Yeah, we're just going to leave that thought.
Jumps up to 5th. I'm trying to think of the bulletin board that everybody has to read for knowing what tonight's event is. They are warned in there about pit entry and pit exit. So the stewards may look at that some issues after the race. We've not got live stewarding tonight, but the drivers can lodge a protest form that's within 48 hours, I think it is, if I remember rightly. Never lodged one myself, so I wouldn't know.
No, I haven't lodged a formal complaint in either. You know, it's always been, you know, very, very fair driving in this league. So yeah, I've not had to post a complaint, but I do think that that 48-hour cooldown period is correct. As Regan Mitchell jumps up to 6th.
That was from 10th as well, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, within a 151.0.
So with qualifying, flag has dropped. So all the people currently on their final flying laps, as we're with Bass now, currently in 16th, 0.1 up on his time. He's actually lost out slightly. So I don't think this is going to be improvement for Bass, but we have been proven wrong already tonight several times.
Yep, several times. Yep.
Just cross the line does not improve.
Well, Dave Hedges was on an improvement, but I think he invalidated somewhere and then returned to pits. So that is it for qualifying.
Yep. Qualifying done and dusted. So now the drivers will be in the pits waiting for the time to advance to the drive session, so the race session. They'll be loading the setup, hoping that they've got it right, hoping that the tyre pressures are all nicely set up. Are you looking forward to a nice clean start here? We've not seen it in Formula 1, have we?
No. The run down into Tamburello can get a little chaotic. Yeah, it's not unusual to see 3 wide attempting to go into that left-right complex. But drivers definitely need to be very, very careful of that first left-hander. There's some nasty sausage curves just on the inside that if you catch them wrong, they end up spearing you directly into other cars that happen to be coming up the left-hand side, coming up the outside. So definitely makes for a very, very spicy start to a race, and it's one of the main overtaking points on this circuit. So always quite a bit of action to watch at Tamburello. Rest of the circuit tends to be a little complicated, a little difficult to try and overtake, unless there's a big speed difference. So most of the action does tend to happen down into Tamburello.
As we all know, the race can be won at the first corner, can't it?
Of course, yeah.
I mean, we laugh and joke about it, but the amount of drivers that you do see trying to dive bomb into the first corners,
yeah,
is ridiculous. Fortunately, it doesn't happen that often in this league. They do tend to be quite cleanish drivers. The protests tend to be minor rather than I don't think we've kicked anybody out of a championship yet, so we're doing quite well with 2 minutes 42 session start, and it will be a formation lap. Lewis Dykes will lead everybody away down into the Variante Tamburello. I learned that as well. I'm not reading that from Matt, honest. So, the runners and riders. So, in first position, Lewis Dykes. Closely followed by Kieran Vidago in second. Andrew Richardson qualified third. Matt Richards in fourth. Well, I'm going to get me Richards mixed up. Danny Deswart in fifth. Regan Mitchell in the only Maserati in sixth. Dave Hedges, hi Dave, in seventh. Damien De Keyser in 8th. Frank Hopp in 9th, followed by Sandervale. Brett rounds out the top 10. 11th, our leading amateur, Thomas Van Schaik. 12th, Patrick Vance. 13th, and making a special guest appearance tonight, Yannick Van Lenduc in his Dukes of Hazzard car. 14th, Nick Vargas. 15th, Richard Pixley. 16th, our good friend Bas van Mellis. 17th, my teammate Patrick Tractor. 18th, Nicholas Milot. 19th, Dennis Workman. 20th, Evan Nutfass. 21st, Mark Neutlings. Never got his name right, he always rollicks me for it as well. 22nd, Mark Cooper. 23rd, Daniel Orchestra. 24th, Dennis Verhoven. And bringing up the rear, last but not least, Jean-Paul Enkeldoen. And that's the grid for the start of this penultimate round of the SSRI GT4 Championship. So, people watching on YouTube, what's your predictions? Is Lewis going to run away with it? Is Kieran going to get in front at the start? What will we see happen in the pit stops? You can have your voice. Well, not your voice, text. If you type in YouTube, we'll try and read out what you say within reason. Being very careful here, Sam.
Yes. Yes.
Be
As long
careful.
as it's clean, then we'll read it out.
There's no mention of pizza either.
No.
Darn it, I did it. I mentioned
You did. You did. And I don't know if you are seeing what I'm seeing, but Hoekstra is starting in the pits. Somebody didn't click drive quickly enough, unfortunately, and he'll be starting from pit lane.
Yes, I didn't see that, and I'm glad you pointed that out. Because
So
I'd have been... Sorry.
that can be quite painful at this track, because the pit exit, once you get past all of the pit boxes, is very long. And I believe he's going to have to wait until that entire train of cars is past the pit exit line. So he's going to be sat there a long old time.
Got the longest pit lane in the world. Got the longest... Man, you haven't said that. Misano's not far off the similar, is it? You wait an eternity once you've start to go out past all the pit boxes there as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and what makes Misano even worse is that you've got the turns in the pit lane as well. And
Yes.
Yeah, and then another awkward pit exit, exiting right onto the racing line. So.
Man, you haven't said that. None are as bad as Spa.
No, nothing is as bad as the pit lane at Spa. My
You
God,
really don't want to drive through there, do you?
Oh no. You need an in-flight movie going through the pit lane at Spa. It's just painful.
Flight movie and a meal.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, we are not at Spa. We're at the infamous, famous Imola. But yeah, that's not a very good start. And he was in P20, so that is going to put him down to dead last, coming out with quite a bit of work to do to catch up to the pack.
And you haven't said that. It could be a really smart move. We don't know yet because what's going to happen in the first corner. We've already muted. There could be a pile-up.
Yep. Yeah, he could end up picking his way through some carnage.
As we see the cars start going side by side now, they're now being played the hurry-up music. So at the back of the field, they'll start all accelerating as hard as they can to try and catch up with this lot, and then go, oh no, I'm going to hit him. That's what normally happens to me anyway, because I'm always at the back.
Yeah. It's a good thing that everything's ghosted here, though, so, you don't actually cause a crash doing that.
Nope. So we're on the rolling start, and it looks like Kieran's slightly ahead of Lewis here. Lewis is now picking up the speed, and will take the green light anytime soon, signalling the start of this race. And it's
start-finish line is quite a ways down than this straight, not straight.
Not straight, not straight.
Yeah.
And we go green now, and it is Lewis has managed to keep slightly in front of Kieran, but will Kieran brave it out on the brakes?
Yeah.
Kieran really does need to get a win to keep his championship hopes alive, but he doesn't. And Lewis leads off and is already on his way.
And has already pulled in quite a gap as well. Oh, bit of spearing off into the wall in the background there. So two cars going off.
That would have been one of the Pulse Motorsport cars. And I'm trying to see which one of them has dropped down the field. Now, Damien's still running in 8th, so I wonder if it's Patrick.
Yeah, Patrick now down into 24th.
Yes, it must be Patrick then. Oh dear. Now Patrick from the last round at Silverstone really did give somebody a good run for his money. Now whether it's Matt Richards or Andrew Richardson, I can't remember because I've got a really poor memory. Perhaps somebody could remind me in the YouTube chat. Evening Aaron, good evening Pinchy. Thanks for joining us. You just missed the start of the race where Lewis has managed to get in the lead. If you're watching this back, just rewind slightly and you'll see it again. So we are focusing on Matt Richards here, who is chasing down Andrew Richardson. Told you I'm going to get confused with these two tonight.
It's Richards and Richardson.
Yes. Now, is he the son of Rich? No, don't go there, Chris.
No.
As we come to complete the first lap, with Lewis Dykes in the lead by 0.8 of a second over Kieran Vidago. These two are still quite close together, Matt Richards and Andrew Richardson. And as we jump to replay and see what's happened to Patrick, it looks like he's sandwiched in the centre, which is what you called in the build-up.
Yeah, I mean, he tried to get out of it. It looks like he tried to, just break a little bit, but unfortunately just caught a little bit too much curb. And as I was saying, spears you off into the car that you're racing, and unfortunately takes you both out.
Was a very unfortunate incident. And Aaron Van Drunen says it was Richards at Zandvoort, but no, we're talking about Silverstone, Aaron. Thank you very much. I was just seeing where Daniel Orchestra's pulled out and whether he's managed to get ahead of these guys. Bass has had a bad start as well, looking at this.
Yeah, down in P22nd. No, I currently have Van Orchestra out and a good 120 seconds back from Patrick Vance. So
I wonder if he didn't just not press drive. I think he might have had a technical issue, or he might have got caught short. Perhaps.
Yeah.
To be that far behind.
Yeah, it is quite a ways back, but as I was saying, coming out of the pit lane in this track, is you are sat there a long time before you're even released to leave the pit lane, and then you've got the pit lane limit on for quite a while. So it's
that looks excessive though, doesn't it? Really. Anyway, we may find out later on what's happened. Back to the action with Patrick Vance trying to set up Bas van Mellis into the first corner. Bas manages to stay ahead. So Patrick seems to get a better exit. Will he get him into the Variante Villeneuve? Might even be making names up now. No, he doesn't. So perhaps he'll stay behind him for the rest of the lap, as you said. So as we see what happened to Vance, he clobbered the sausage. Nobody likes to clobber the sausage.
Got a little bit of a tech slapper on.
He got tapped from behind, did he?
Well, and I think he after he got it a bit too much curb, he had a bit of a tech slapper, and then there might have been a bit of contact after that to help him on his way, but yeah, so it certainly wasn't in full control of that car coming out of the corner.
And Vance managed to get past. I think Varga's there as well. We've missed that move, but don't worry about it, Tom. We're not criticising. Up near front, as we like to say up north. We've got Danny de Swart, I think, chasing down Regan Mitchell as we go across the Knot Straight into the first corner. Now we've got a gaggle of cars here with Yannick Valenduc, the 301 tribute to the Dukes of Hazzard.
I'm loving that car. I remember growing up watching Dukes of Hazzard and absolutely love it.
It is the clues in his name why he sports the Duke of Hazzard livery, but it is a work of genius. There's something went on there with Patrick Tractor and I think it was Richard Pixley. Patrick's got a really slow exit out also there. It was indeed been jumped by Nicholas Millot, I think that was.
Yeah, definitely did see a puff of dirt get kicked up from somebody going a bit wide.
I think Patrick's lost 2 places there. We're back on board with Boss Hogg. Oh dear, runs off the road there. Was that Frank Hopp? I think it was. Yes, Thomas Van Shank in between between. Sorry, I'm just waiting for the timing tower to catch up.
Yeah.
It's a bit distracting, isn't it? This is Nicholas Millot, Richard Pixley, Patrick Tractor, and Dennis Verhoven. Nice gaggle of 4 cars. Patrick trying to go around the outside of the Ginetta in his Porsche into turn 1. Richard holds the inside line.
Yeah, it's got to give him some space.
No, slight touch there.
Yeah. Just got a little bit too much curb.
Bit of door banging. Patrick gets a better exit. Maybe down to the bit of door banging. So we can't be that speculative. That's a big word, isn't it?
Speculative.
Dennis wants a bit of the action as well on Richard. And where are we up to now? Is this Patrick Vance and Bass again?
Yep, Patrick has now gotten past Vargas up into P22.
Bass is just racing to get as many points as he can this season. Now he's secured the championship. So this gaggle of cars is quite up nicely.
We've got a train of about 4 or 5 cars and all within a second of each other, so this fight could continue on to the pit stops. Which
you should remind everybody is a mandatory pit stop tonight. It's mandatory for fuel.
But there's no pit window, is that right?
Correct. There's no pit window,
Yeah.
so you could have gone in at the start. You could jump in at the end, but it's going to cost you the minimum stoppage time of 25 seconds, regardless. Check on tyres, it's a minimum of 30 seconds, not including pit entry and pit exit.
Will be interesting to see who opts to save that 5 seconds and, you know, balances it with, you know, potentially losing time through lack of grip towards the end of the race.
There's another good battle going on here with Danny DeSwart in the Chevy and Regan Mitchell in the Maserati.
Yep, and Dave Hedges just tacking on to the end of this three-way battle as well. In the McLaren.
Go through Variante Alta. That's where Leclerc spun the other week. Disappointing loads of Ferrari fans. For anybody that's not watched it and was waiting to watch that, I'm really sorry I just spoilt it for you.
Well, yeah, you can only assume too much. It was 2 weeks ago.
Yes. Miami this week, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I've been interested to see how then that circuit's going to be put together. It'd be the first time that they've been at Miami.
Yeah, it's I believe it goes round is it the Miami Dolphins Stadium? Something like
Yes,
that.
that is the team from Miami, yeah. I don't know the name of the stadium though, but yes, it is Miami Dolphins.
I wasn't even trying to get you to say the name of the stadium. I haven't got a clue myself.
No,
I only remember it from Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. That's how bad my knowledge is. Other films are available to watch. You don't all have to watch Ventura. Anyway, back to Yannick Vandenhoek and Thomas van Schaik. I wasn't Yannick ahead of Thomas, so there must have been an overtake somewhere.
Yes, yeah, and they've also dropped Frank Hopp a little bit. Hopp was a bit closer than that, so I think something might have gone on in there.
This, I think, is the closest battle on track at the moment.
Yep, and it is the closest, but we do seem to have quite a number of battles going on track. So we've got a bit of a battle for third and fourth between Richardson and Richards. Another battle for fifth, sixth, and seventh.
Patrick, what are you doing? Get back on the track.
Oh.
I can't slate him too much. He's actually stuck with doing the championship. When we all left for other duties, I've got a good excuse. As we see a yellow flag somewhere in the background. Was up at Tulsa. It looks like it's been clear.
Yeah, it looks like there might have been two cars involved in that. Potentially 11 and 66.
11 is Bass.
And 66 is Daniel Hoekstra. So Hoekstra has caught back up with the pack if he's had a bit of a coming together with.
Thomas has a mare there, runs wide. Let's Yannick through. Sorry for cutting you off there, Sam.
No, that's.
So if how's Orchestra got so close to Bass there? We're back with Bass now. See, exits out Tulsa up the hill. sure if we've lost Sam.
No, we haven't
Oh.
lost Sam.
Alright.
I'm just trying to see where Notelings has gone. So I did see that he was in the pits, and I believe now is no longer in the pits, but is not on track either. So I think not sure if we've had a disconnect or something has happened there.
He's in chat now saying 6 laps hit 5 times. This is as we see what happened with oh dear. Oh, Vance assisted on his way slightly there into the side of Mark. So that was what the yellow flag was. So it was I think it was car 666, not 66. That's why we were a bit baffled. But pretty sure that Mark runs the 666 car. Hi Mark, sorry that you're in the YouTube chat now from Not Racing. We didn't even get a chance to comment on you until that point there. We've got another yellow flag. Again, that's going into Tulsa, isn't it? Looks like car 80 this time. Who's that? Richard Pixley. Danny DeSwart and Regan Mitchell still going at it.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the closer battles on track at the minute.
To sort of remind everybody, Lewis Dykes is out in the lead currently with nearly a 5-second gap between himself and Kieran Vidago.
Yep, it's pulled out a very, very commanding lead after only 15, nearly 20 minutes.
He's had that type of season though, hasn't he, where he's been quite dominant. We have had a couple of races where somebody run him really close.
Yeah, he's definitely got the measure of that McLaren.
Knows what he's doing, knows how to drive it. You can see Kieran in the background there. In the same equipment. Well, not in the same equipment, that would just be silly. In the same type of car. Just imagine now Kieran sat on Lewis's knee or something like that. That just doesn't make sense.
What?
I'm just saying if they're using the same equipment. If they're using the same equipment, somebody must be sat on somebody's knee.
Ah, right, okay. I'm with you now.
I'm glad you are, because I'm not. It's coming out of my mouth and in my mind, and I don't know what I'm saying.
Oh dear, right.
I think we'll start talking about facts.
Yeah. Just noticed that Andrew Richardson's starting to close the gap on Kieran Verdago, so Kieran might have a little bit of defending to do soon.
And he's dropped Matt,
the pace.
He's dropped Matt as well, hasn't
He has, yeah. So Richardson's clearly had a good couple of laps to give himself a bit of space behind and close up onto the back of Kieran. And,
Meanwhile, still at it. Danny DeSwart and Regan Mitchell. Got Richard Pixley, I think, has just returned to garage. There's a brief yellow flag and then he's just flashed off the screen.
Yeah, I don't see him on...
He's not only returned to garage, he's exited as well.
Yeah.
Just showing in last place, and I'm sorry to say this is Bass at the moment. We've only got 23 drivers left in this race. There's Yannick Valenduc makes a challenge on Sander Vale and succeeds in his challenge. That was a very good move. It's coming to the Variante Villeneuve.
Very, very nicely done.
So, Sam, who do you think's going to win this race?
Oh, gee. I'm going to. I've got to put my money on Dykes, don't I? It's be foolish to bet against him at this point. But you never know. Racing is completely and utterly unpredictable. Anything could happen. Could be a problem with pit stops. Could be track limits. You never know.
Did see a drive-through for somebody at one of the last rounds. And was that on GT3? Evan, that's ambitious, trying to go down the outside there into
It's
the.
very ambitious and just comes back onto track.
So with Mark Cooper and
clipping.
As Patrick Vance makes his a pit stop. We assume it's his mandatory one. This is just showing the length of time it takes to get out of the pit.
Very early pit stop. If then this is, and he's still showing as needing to do a pit stop, so that's interesting.
Oh, he has had it. Oh, what happened there? I glanced away for a few seconds there, and in fact, he returned to the garage.
Yeah, he's pulled off again and has been returned to the pits. So I wonder if maybe he had a technical problem that he went into the pits to try and resolve with, potentially not putting any other drivers at risk, and hasn't applied. Although I've just noticed in the YouTube chat that Aaron has mentioned that Bass has made a pit stop, but for some reason it hasn't applied to his requirements, so needs to do another pit stop.
So he's either not refueled or he's not. Well, I think the mandatory stop was for fuel, so he's not refueled. Perhaps that was just to repair damage so he can carry on. Now we did see a lot of incidents happening with Bass. Patrick's had a few incidents with other drivers. I'm not naming names because I forgot. Bass has a bit of a wobble there. I don't think he's enjoying this race tonight.
Sure does seem to be a little bit of a handful today.
So one of the Mercedes coming up behind Bass there. Is that Paul Eichelboom?
Going very, very wide. So then that's one of the key culprits on this track for track limits is coming out of that chicane. Pretty much, and I believe as soon as a tyre touches one of those slushes curbs on the outside, it's considered track limits. And we've already seen quite a number of drivers going around the other side of those sausage curbs.
You're making me feel hungry.
Well, what else can you call them aside from sausage curbs?
No, you're absolutely right. You can't call them anything else, really.
Then there was I believe he was an F1 commentator that always called them sleeping policemen.
Right, okay. I can't remember who that might have been. Murray. You'd know if it was Murray Walker, wouldn't you? There's been so many F1 commentators over the years.
Mm.
Only one legend, though.
Only one. No, only one.
These two are still at it, still close. 0.4 of a second.
Yeah, they do seem to be very, very evenly matched, and then this is what can be very frustrating about Imola, is that if you are racing somebody of similar pace to you, it can be very difficult to overtake. You need to have quite a speed difference on this circuit to be able to overtake, other than coming down the pit not straight and taking advantage of slipstream.
They have dropped Dave Edges, though, haven't they? Dave was behind for less than a second a few laps back, and he's now dropped back to 2 seconds behind.
And it also looks like we've got a close battle for ninth between Van Schaik and Sander Vale. And Frank Hopp coming up onto the back of this pack as well.
Sander attacking Thomas here, or has Thomas just got past Sander? So that's Valenduke up, just coming up the hill in the lead there. Thomas Van Schaik and Sander Vale. Frank Hopp right behind them. I wonder, it seems to be all the Porsches seem to be having difficulties on this track tonight.
Yeah, it definitely does seem that certain cars suit certain tracks more than others, and despite the fact that we've got a Porsche very strongly in P3 in the hands of Andrew Richardson, the other Porsches do seem to be slipping down the order slightly, and we do have quite a number of Porsches in this particular championship.
As you said, Randy Richardson up in third is the highest placed Porsche. Next Porsche is Sander Vale.
It's Sander, yeah.
They're in 10th. As we watch two more Porsches battling with each other, it's Damien Picazer and Nicholas Milot. Nicholas Milot in the red and black car, trying to attack Damien. Will he make a move into the turn one? He's certainly got a very good toe. Damien defends on the inside. Nicholas sticks to the outside. He'll get a better exit here.
It's going to be close coming out of Villeneuve.
Down the inside, Nicholas goes. Oh, backs out of it. Wise move.
Yeah, but it has put the Porsche wide.
Narrow it down. We're watching two Porsches, Sam.
Oh God!
Oh, and watch Frank Hopp into the wall. That can happen here. Obviously, it just has, but it can happen quite easily coming out of Tulsa. You just grab a bit of curb.
Yeah.
Spits you from the right to the left.
Yeah, get a little bit too greedy on trying to get on the power too soon, and yeah, it can put a bit of a swap on for you. But yeah, reversing into the wall is not going to help your aero damage very much.
But it balances out from the front aero damage, so perhaps technically it's right.
Might do. Don't think that's the case.
And just reading in chat, thanks Aaron, pit stops aren't working.
Well, that could prove interesting, because if I'm right, not serving pit stops are assigned an automatic penalty by the game if you don't serve a mandatory pit stop, or the game doesn't recognize that you've made a mandatory pit stop by the end of the race. So that could be interesting.
So I'm just checking Discord now what seems to maybe possibly what the problem is. The pit stop window length has been set for 120 seconds. We said there was no pit stop window. So 120 seconds, that would be slap bang in the middle of the race, 60 seconds either side. So that's not a long time.
No.
So there's going to be some...
It's going to catch a lot of drivers out.
Oh, pretty much everybody in the field, and this is really bad to say, but everybody will get disqualified.
Well, I mean, if there is a pit window and some of the drivers see that, I mean, granted, it's a really, really short period of time, and you've got to be lucky as to where you are on track when that window opens. But it could be that the more aware drivers that are out there may see it, and may have the wherewithal to react. But yeah, you're right. I mean, and the game will automatically assign penalties to anyone who doesn't complete the mandatory pit stop.
Just to add to that, obviously in the pit window. So
Yes, yeah,
with a lap time of around 1:52 at the moment, you've got to be on that lap, haven't you?
Yeah.
So what we are going to see for the people that may be aware of what's happening on track with the drivers themselves, they'll see that pit window come up. It'll catch everybody out by surprise, and we'll see everybody coming in.
Yeah, and anyone unfortunate enough to either not see the window, be in a really awkward part of the track, so if they've literally just crossed the pit entry line when that window opens, they may not have enough time to get back round. This it could throw up all kinds of weird and wonderful things. As I've just noticed that Frank Hopp has gotten a drive-through penalty.
What were we saying? You don't want one of them here.
No, you don't. And I believe, that's obviously been game issued. So that is probably 4 track limits.
Yeah, I think we have seen him off the side of the track a few times. So.
Yeah, and then it could be that because he's nursing so much damage, he may be struggling to keep the car on track.
He might have. He's just been in the pits, so I wonder if he's seen it and gone, I've done my pit stop. Why isn't it? Why I'm still showing as 1? Perhaps he's realised that there's something wrong. We can only speculate.
Yeah, and I think for now, really all we can do is just, concentrate on the race and see what happens.
So I've got a request to Tom. At the very end of this race, can you take a snapshot of the timetable? Thank you. We may be able to. We can't get rid of the penalties, but we can alter the standings to reflect the correct finishing positions, I believe.
Yeah.
I think that might be the only way to go. And is this Andrew Richards on Kieran Vidago? It is, isn't it?
It is, yes. Yeah.
And
so he has caught up with Kieran, managed to get that lap down, and he is very, very close. He's definitely in the slipstream. So it's a case of if he's brave enough on the brakes.
Something I've just noticed here, Sam, as well. We were talking before because we were joking about it, about the what time the race, the qualifying was 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and the race has started at 7 o'clock in the morning.
It has, yes, which means track temperature is a very comfortable 19 degrees.
Yes, so, but I would have thought that drivers after qualifying would be loading their setup expecting a track temperature around the 30s, as it was in qualifying. So that might be why we're seeing a lot of cars slip sliding away.
Yep, they may have incorrect tyre pressures. Track temperature during qualifying was 33, so when we're talking about a good 14-15 degrees difference, which makes a very, very big difference to tire pressures. As we have Adam Asalovic joining us in YouTube chat. Evening, Adam.
Good evening, Adam.
Couldn't get
Welcome.
home in time for the race.
It's okay. You've not really missed much. Honest. You have to watch it back and listen to me and Sam talk for England, basically.
Waffling.
Yes. Professionally put again, Sam.
Yes. Professional waffle.
Waffles.
Oh, don't start with food again.
You started it. You started with sausages. Yes, you did.
No.
Kept mentioning the curbs.
I was talking about curbs, not food.
Yeah, but sausages. Don't we think of food? As we see,
Oh,
they
this is
remove-
brave.
beautiful.
This
Andrew
is
Richardson.
brave. Nicely done.
Down the inside of Kieran Vidago there.
Yeah,
Kieran down to
and
third now.
that is not an easy move to pull on Kieran, but beautifully done. Nice and tight and clean from the both of them.
This is certainly something to do with the tyres then. Maybe the track temp. We said that. Depends if anybody, other drivers spotted it. Pit window is now open. And we'll close in 1 minute 50 seconds. So we should see plenty of people coming into the pits if they've read the in-game chat message that's been
Yeah,
posted.
if they've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's this will be interesting to see who's
There's three
who's
already
paying
in.
attention and who's missed it.
3. Lewis is in. Depends if you're one of those people that can read the in-game chat. Yeah, Andrew Richardson, Kieran Vidago's in. Matt Richards is in.
In theory, they should all be filing in one after the
Yeah.
other.
There we go. 3 more.
Yeah, and then noticing Regan slamming on the anchors and locking up a little bit just before the pit limit line. So it's another thing that these drivers need to be mindful of. Is this game is very, very hot on speeding in the pit lane now.
I think what we've I think what the admins have done, inadvertently done here, is created a spectacle. To be honest, because we was speculating at the beginning of the race who's going to pit for tyres and who's just going to pit for fuel, weren't we? So now this is going to be the battle who's got the extra 5 seconds.
Yeah,
As indeed,
and-
pretty much everybody has seen the message.
it does, but
who's-
it's who's in the right place to track, because that pit window is closing in 10 seconds.
Oh, car 570. Frank Hopp, he's already been in. Now, whether he was doing a drive-through, he's not completed his mandatory stop.
He's not, no.
Andrew Richardson's got a drive-through.
I think then that might be speeding out of the pit lane, because I think speeding in is a stop-go 30, as Regan Mitchell has just gotten.
Which is
Dave
what you
Hedges
thought.
and Richardson have gotten in the drive-throughs. I mean, stop-go 30, that's painful here.
Oh, it is. And Regan and Danny Swart still joined at the hip. Going out
Yeah,
to the-
so it looks like we've got 6 drivers who've not managed to make it back to the pits in time for this surprise pit window that's been thrown up. So,
yeah,
wow.
Hedges with a drive-through.
Dearie me.
Vargas leaves the pits. So, for those curious about what's going on, we haven't got no idea. So we have. It appears that the server has been set up with a pit window of 120 seconds, which is, everybody knows in maths, is 2 minutes.
It's just not
which
long
is-
enough.
Which is right bang in the middle of the race. So drivers have been caught out here that either haven't read the message that was posted by the stewards and the admin that the pit window would be there as a mistake. So the drivers have been warned, and not everybody pays attention to the chat during a race. Some people don't even have it on.
Yeah,
So-
and I have read that it is possible to turn it off, although I've never quite figured out how.
I think also people in VR don't tend to see the chat messages. So
Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
I might be making that up, but perhaps somebody can confirm that in the YouTube for us. In the YouTube, I like how I say that. It's just so ridiculous.
Yeah, in YouTube land.
I'm not down with the kids.
And Regan is coming in to serve his stop-go 30s. Looks like he's getting that out of the way as soon as possible.
Hopefully, he won't speed into the pits this time.
No, but that will drop him right down the order. As we're on board with Merlot, who didn't make the pit window time, unfortunately, so
But not
I'm
sure.
really not sure what the game is going to do with this.
The thing is, the admins are going to have take a copy of this as well and see who has made a pit stop, serving the required time of stopped in the pits, to determine whether they did legitimately make their mandatory pit stop, albeit the game will do something to them. Sander Vale and Yannick Valenduke still battling as well.
Yeah, then this battle was just starting to get spicy before the pit window opened. Valenduke did have a nice gap to Sander, but Sander has definitely closed that gap up considerably in the past couple of laps.
Jean-Paul Eichelboom comes in for his stop.
But unfortunately, it's not going to register.
Oh, it's on his way out, sorry. Because I don't think he had a drive-through, did he?
No. No.
Look what that's done to Regan Mitchell. He's now down in 18th. Dave Hedges comes in to serve his drive-through penalty.
Yeah, I mean that will drop Dave down, but obviously not quite as much. So probably expect him to come out maybe 14th, 15th would be my guess.
Meanwhile, up in front, Lewis Dykes, 11 seconds out in the lead. Now, I did put you on the spot and say who's going to be your winner for the race, and that little bit of action could have really thrown it all out of the balance, couldn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Lewis obviously one of those that were aware of what was going on. 1.2 seconds lead over Kieran Vidago. Andrew Richardson up in third, but
no. Dave Hedges has got a stop-go 30 after serving his drive-through. Oh.
Well, that's what you get for speeding. It's naughty.
Oh. The heart goes out to him. It's just such a sinking feeling. Oh dear. Wait, we still got Andrew Richardson yet to serve his drive-through. He obviously has a set number of laps where he has to do that. I believe off the top of my head it's 3. So, yeah.
Yes, sorry, I believe it's 3 as well, sorry.
I'm giggling because I think Mark Neutlings is having another go at you at pronouncing Dutch names.
Well, what's wrong with saying Dave Hedges?
No, it's something about the Dutch names.
Yeah, no, I'm just ignore them.
Yes.
I mean, just because I've got a really simple name to pronounce. As Andrew Richards comes in to serve his drive-through.
And hopefully doesn't get a stop-go 30 in the process. Which he doesn't.
Yet. Sorry. Just mean to me.
Yes, that is mean.
Oh, so meanwhile, Dennis Verhoven is battling Nicholas Malott for 10th position here.
And has got it done.
They've now serving his stop goal 30. Yes, I'm just reading that as well.
So then this is definitely spiced up the order a little bit and has broken up some of the close battles that we were having on track. So it looks like then this Verhoven has made a bit of a mistake on his own, just giving Merlot the chance to get his place back.
Won't do it into this chicane. But there he makes another mistake as well.
Loving the YouTube chat tonight.
It's great, isn't it? They're taking the mick out of us. Potato, potato.
Each to their own.
We call it a spud.
A spud.
Oh,
that's going to really confuse them. Then they'll start going into British slang.
Yeah, let's not start mentioning the names of potato families. It's always confused me that. But anyway, don't get many potatoes in a pizza, do you? Not unless you have a side order of chips. Let's get back to the racing. As Nicholas is still trying to battle with somebody. Dennis Verhoven. Have I said that right, guys?
Verhoven?
I mean, it's great for them taking the mickey. They could always join us in chat and pronounce all the Dutch names for us.
They could. Although I've got to admit, the times that I've been sat on the sofa while watching YouTube streams and thinking, yeah, I could do a better job than that, and it's not as easy as it looks.
Isn't it? Absolutely isn't.
It is not.
Oh, that's a nice slide there by Lewis.
I think Lewis might just be having a bit of fun, just to give himself some entertainment, something to do.
Yeah, because he can't watch this stream yet, can he?
No, but it does look like he's coming up to start lapping some traffic.
So that would be the first car. Would be
he's lapped some people already. I think
that's
Regan Mitchell. It is. Snap.
Well, that's down to Regan's
V17.
Unfortunate stop goal 30.
Yeah. In the very brave choice of the Maserati.
Yeah. Just call Mark out in the YouTube chat. Yeah, look at that now. He's back down. That's to be fair, I've never managed to get Mark's surname correct any time.
Yeah, it's those backseat drivers.
That's true. I did get Aaron trick him into doing the commentary. He did a really good job. He was drunk, but he did a really good job.
Well, it's always a case of you trick someone to come in to do an interview and you just keep them there. So just see how they get on.
I think that's called Frank Kopp again. He's gone round there at the Variante Alta.
Yeah, it's very easy to end up facing the wrong way into that that little, and it's like it's like a start of a side road that doesn't actually go anywhere, and you know there's nothing to do except just put it in reverse and try and get back out. But it's very easy to get in there, but difficult to get out.
It's nearly 8 o'clock in the morning.
That's still early.
Track temperature's gone up to 20 degrees now.
Yep.
Still is optimum, and doesn't look like there's any sign of rain. Certainly not for the next 30 minutes, so that'll be a relief to all the drivers.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to throw rain in after this, after the chaos we've already had.
Vidago here in a lowly second place, 13 seconds behind Lewis, but 8.5 seconds in front of Matt. As he comes down to the penultimate corner.
It's interesting how that pit window has spread the field out a little bit. Everyone was really, really close coming into that pit section, but we've now got quite a bit of space out on track.
I suspect that there might have been some mixed messages in the chat that we can't see.
Yeah, potentially.
People saying perhaps reading ignore the pit window. Some people taking it seriously. Not seriously, that's wrong. Some people using the pit window as it should be.
Yeah. I mean, it because it fell, right smack in the middle of the race, it might have been, where people were planning on pitting anyway.
Yeah.
So, and it might not have affected some people too much. It might have been, in line with the strategy they already had planned. Others have probably been scrambling to, alter fuel levels and things like that as they're going into pit lane, which might slow people down as well. So yeah, it's definitely put a cat amongst the pigeons, that's for sure.
As I think certainly one of those that's been caught out is Bass. I assume that he had the damage and went in to do an early pit stop to get rid of his damage, fuel his car towards the end, and try and have a better second half of the race. But that's not happened. Patrick Vance, I think he's now left the server. Could be wrong. No, I'm right. He's left the server. Was another one that had damage and pitted early. That would explain why we saw him come out of the pits and go not into the wall, but just pull off to the side and return to garage. Actually, being one of the administrators here as well. So, Mark saying that thing needs a flag on the roof. I'm not sure what he's referring to be honest.
I think he's referring to Bass's car. I think.
Nothing wrong with a zebra driving down the racetrack, is there?
Not at all.
Especially if there's a lion chasing him. Oh, as you see, a big slide from Bass there. Who's in a battle with Daniel Orchestra?
He's definitely starting to lose a bit of grip. There's quite a bit of power sliding going on from Bass, but definitely managing to handle the Porsche. But he is getting caught up very, very quickly by Hoekstra.
Yeah, and Dave Hedges is right there behind them as well. I was trying to see if that was Kieran coming to lap them or Dave for the position. Right, thanks Mark, I understand now. The flag he's referring to is on Yannick's car. He hasn't got the full
the Confederate flag. Yeah.
Confederate, thank you, I couldn't remember the name of it. I knew you'd remember it being part American.
Oi.
What?
I'm Canadian, not American.
Yeah, but you're closer to American than we are.
This is true.
Yeah. See? Got you on facts.
Yes.
Clutching at straws, I think it's called.
Very much so.
As Dave Hedges into Rivazza.
Oh,
That's
just
a
putting
good
nose
move.
in. That is. Yep.
Very nice
So-
clean. No door banging there that we could see.
No, I think the Hoekstra Giant just misses braking point just a little bit, ended up going in a bit wide, and just opened the door for Dave to just slip up the inside and take the position.
Next up the road for Dave is Bass. I don't think he'll get Regan. Just trying to see how far up. No, Regan's 20 odd seconds up the road, I think.
Yeah.
Bass goes wide to the into the gravel there, back on. Is
Yeah.
Bass going to lose position to Daniel now?
And I think Bass is definitely struggling. So either he opted to not take tires, or is potentially carrying a little bit of damage. But that Porsche is definitely looking a bit of a handful.
I wonder if now I know that Bass has got a new set of racing pedals, so I'm wondering if he's just getting used to it during this race.
Might be.
Because he was he was away for a holiday last week, so he's not had. He was only setting him up at weekend, so yeah, he's not had really much running with him. So it could be that's causing him issues tonight. There's Andrew Richardson and Yannick Valenduc here. Richardson catching Valenduc. I suspect Richardson is actually going to get past Yannick. Yannick, a good racer. Did it's one of the few drives that did our 12-hour charity race.
Yeah, he's got a good run on him here, but I don't think he's going to have the space to overtake before
Be brave.
Rivazza. No, that's corrected. Yeah, very. I mean, we know that Richardson is a very, very quick driver. He was up in P3 before his drive-through penalty that came at the pit stop. So. And Jane, just going back to what you were saying about Bass getting used to a new set of pedals, and it is amazing how much of an effect equipment that you're used to can have on your driving. Just changing, your wheel, and especially your pedals can have a huge effect, and everything just feels so off, and takes you a while to relearn that muscle memory.
Yeah, because you've got, depending on what, obviously if you're going to change your pedals, you must be upgrading. It's a very few people downgrade a set of pedals or their equipment, really.
Not unless something breaks and you can't afford to replace it with better.
Yeah, good point. But yeah, you're quite right. You will be used to how far you're pressing on the brake pedal. For example, although these cars and pedals sometimes do have clutches, they're not really used in the same manner as driving a normal road car. But certainly the brake pedal, you try and set it so I'm talking rubbish now, like I know what I'm talking about. But you do try and set it so you can do trail braking and all that nice stuff.
Yes.
These guys do, which means that you try and lift off the pedal as slowly as possible while still turning into the corner to try and get a better corner speed.
Yeah.
If that's something you're used to with your old set of pedals, then it can take some real getting used to with a new set, especially if they're much keener on the brakes.
Yeah, and if he's transferred to load cell pedals, where then the brake mechanism is done slightly differently, then that throws up its own set of challenges as well, because it's more on pressure opposed to pedal movement. And I was seriously debating whether I got load cell when I upgraded my pedals, and I intentionally decided not to for that very reason, thinking I've already got a learning curve already with a new set of pedals. I don't want to then throw an additional learning curve of learning to drive a load cell on top of that. So I kind of decided to take it in stages. I'll do the pedals first, and then I'll get a load cell kit later on, just to minimize the amount of change I've got to deal with all at once.
Fair enough. And I know Bass has gone from Hausenfeld sprints, I think they were.
Okay.
Might have been ultimates. They certainly want one of those. To one with a nice little hydraulic tank that you have to fill up. I think nice sim tag. I could be wrong. Sure,
Okay.
I'm sure somebody will correct me, because I know Aaron knows what pedals he's got.
Oh, then that'd be interesting. But yeah, if it's going to full hydraulic pedals, then yeah, I can imagine that's going to feel really weird.
If you bear with me, please, Cole. I should be able to tell you, because he sent me a picture of him. Yes.
And
Sim tags there.
I've been hearing a lot about these. They've there's been a lot on social media about them recently. I know Nathan's been eyeing up a set.
Obviously, you told him no.
Well, it's either spend money on sim racing or real racing, and one is a lot less painful than the other. So gotta give him something.
I suppose.
Yeah.
This battle with Damien De Keyser and Nicholas Milot is going on.
I'm just noticing there's only 13 minutes left in this race. Where did this race go? This is just flown by in the pit stop. But yeah, this is just flown by.
Patrick Tractor here on Evan Nataf.
Yeah, and Evan's going to maintain the inside line, but Patrick gets the move done.
The other Patrick, it's Damien, isn't it? It also gets a good run, but doesn't manage to get the drive up the hill that Nicholas did. His next possible move would be, I would have thought, into Ravazza at the end of the lap.
Yeah, if he can get a good run out of Ravazza, then he'll get the slipstream down the straight, not straight, and can have a look up into Tamburello.
Not like that, he won't. Just caught a bit too much curb. Whether that was of the sausage variety or any other type of variety, I'm not sure.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
I just noticed. Yes.
Yeah. Sorry.
Hi. That's fine. Getting me in trouble with the other half.
Not a problem. Anytime. Technically, is he listening in the same room, in the next room with the glass against the wall, or is he actually watching the stream?
No. See, he was practicing and doing some hot lapping for the next AOR series, but I overheard him just finishing a few minutes ago, so I know he's not been listening for very long.
Oh, you'll get away with it then. You won't have heard what you were calling him much earlier.
No, Chris, don't try and get me into trouble.
I'm not trying to get you in trouble, I'm just trying to get the views up.
By starting a domestic.
Well, you said domestic, I said no. I haven't really. She's absolutely done a delightful job tonight, Nathan. Managed to go to me waffle for ages is testament to that. Oh yeah, Lewis is in this race, isn't he?
Yes.
What time?
And how far is he ahead now? 30 seconds. My God.
Where did
That's-
that?
Wait a
No, it's
minute.
only 17. You just exaggerated that then, didn't you?
I didn't. It honestly said then my broadcast timing honestly said 30 seconds. But that was coming into a corner, so all he heard is that you can buy new pedals. If it means you're not going to buy NOS, then fine.
Ooh, decisions.
It's not a decision. It's not up for debate.
Oh, right, this is Denny Workman.
Right, back to the actual racing.
Dennis Workman on Evan Nafas now. Will Dennis get him into the first corner? It's not looking likely, is it?
I don't think he's quite close enough. I mean, he is in the slipstream. He is catching, but not quite enough.
Actually, Dennis caught a bit of grass there as well as Evan goes a bit deep into the corner.
he caught
On
the
exit, he
curve.
will. Yeah,
Yep.
on exit. And down into the Villeneuve chicane. Dennis has got that moved on. Oof. Thought Evan was going to turn in then.
If he can hang on to him, then he might get the place back.
Drive out of Tulsa are doing well up the hill. It's a big old lump of a Mercedes to drag up that hill, isn't it?
Yes.
A nimble Porsche Cayman chomping on your tail. Must admit, I do like the aerials on the Mercedes. They look like Mohicans. See, once you see, you can't unsee it.
No. Yes, I've just seen it. I've always been a big fan of the Wild Things Racing livery, and I've seen them in quite a number of different series now, and that livery has always been really eye-catching. As Yannick just catches the curve and gets speared off slightly.
Thought it was Daniel Kestra, to be honest.
Was it Daniel? Oh, my.
Yeah, because it was Bass
Yes,
right behind
yes, you were right. Yep.
him. And I think Bass was trying to get out of the way of Andrew Richardson. There for lapping. So it's the battle of the 12s at the top. 3rd, 4th and 5th are all 12 seconds apart from each other.
Oh, yeah.
Fun fact for the night. Matt Cooper and Regan Mitchell are very close together, 0.098.
As Evan has just taken that position back again.
Yeah, I didn't even spot that. I was too busy looking at the timing tower.
Looking for patterns in the timing table. But he goes quite wide.
You don't really get in a drive through this late in the race.
No. Now, although I was watching a race the other night, and somebody got a drive-through on the very last lap of, I think it was a 5 or 6 hour race. It was, just devastating.
Especially when you spent that long.
Yeah.
We're quite high up on the grid as well.
I can't remember where they were on the grid, and I just know that, everybody in commentary and everyone on the chat was just hearts out and out to them, getting a drive-through for track limits on the very last lap of an endurance race.
So Frank Hop there, just gone past Jan-Paul Alcombe. Yeah, that name I can't pronounce, guys, in YouTube chat. I'll just call him Jan-Paul for now. He has, hasn't he? So Frank's just jumped from 22nd to 21st. And the car in front of him is Thomas Van Schaik in 8th position.
As we take over into the last 5 minutes.
I'm glad I'm not an admin. This is going to be a nightmare to sort out after the race.
It is, and it kind of depends on what the game ends up doing about this. I can't remember whether it's a time penalty or a DSQ. I think if it's a DSQ, it might be easier for admins to sort out post-race than if it's time penalty. But, yeah.
Such a shame. Well, this is Nicholas Milot even, and Dennis Verhoven. Dennis is Damien De Keyser as well.
Yeah.
This is about top 9.
De Keyser has gotten a really good run out of Ravazza.
This will cover the inside.
Yeah, but it does mean that De Keyser will have the outside for...
Runs deep. Nicholas runs deep.
Nicely done. Very nicely done. Yep, forcing him to defend, missed his breaking point. Lovely move.
Pulse Motorsport. Remind me, I think there's 4 members of that team. Not necessarily all in the same race. I know in the endurance series there's Damien, there's Patrick, there's Jordi Backer, and I can't remember who that 4th person is. You don't see him drive much these days. Very shy and operates cameras a lot. And he's not biting.
No.
As Damien has set his eyes now on Dennis. I think he'll do it into the chicane here.
No.
Best bit.
Oh, no. You know what I was saying about drive-through and the end of a race?
Oh,
Frank
Frank.
has just gotten a drive-through. Oh. He has been in the wars, because I do believe this is actually his 2nd drive-through.
And the slow down. Yeah, you don't want to get stop and go straight after
No.
the side as well.
No.
Oh,
But
Frank.
you can see by the damage on the car, he has definitely been in the wars this race.
So this is roles reversed now. So this is Nicholas trying to do this to Patrick, what Patrick did to Nicholas on the last lap. Patrick stays with the outside, doesn't defend the inside. Nicholas, oh, very close. Very late on the brakes, both of them.
That
Very
is
nice.
defensive. Clean but defensive.
That's having a lot of trust in the person you're racing there.
It is, yes. Door very, very firmly shut in your face. As Yannick has gotten a drive-through as well in P21. Sorry, not Yannick, Jan Paul, my apologies.
I'll give Yannick one as well. Give it away randomly.
Just because I'm afraid to attempt his last name.
Meanwhile,
As we go back on with Lewis, 45 seconds, then this is going to be his final lap, I believe. What was that?
I'm not sure. Wasn't on my end.
Okay. Sorry, I'm hearing weird noises in my headphones. I do apologize.
So Damien tries to go around.
Oh, is he going to make it stick?
very brave. Oh.
Bit of a wiggle on.
There's only 10 seconds left of this race, so this is a race to the line.
It is.
5.
And I
4,
think he has
3,
got it.
1. And
Oh wait, where's first? First hasn't crossed the line. They do have another lap.
oh, so this is going to carry on for.
It is.
The first corner, sorry, Dennis. Sorry, I'm getting all this all wrong. Damien.
Getting too excited.
Yes, Damien down the inside there. Have a little bit of bang on the rear quarter panel of Nicholas there. Into the Villeneuve for the last time. This is a really close battle.
Then
Thanks.
this is going to come down to the last.
As Lewis Dykes has crossed the line to finish first. Kieran Vidago finishes second. Matt Richards is going to cross the line in third.
Oh no!
No!
Oh,
Damien.
No.
Oh dear.
Oh. I would like to have known whether that was by himself or assisted.
Now I think Damien's slowed up there a bit, perhaps to let Nicholas back through. Damien being one of the head stewards as well, so. Andrew Richardson down in 5th position here. He's crossed the line already, hasn't he? Sorry. So, in answer to your question, people that haven't stopped get 130-second time added to their penalty.
Yeah, that is going to make it fun for the stewards to try and figure out what the finishing order should actually be.
I'm not sure it's going to be that. Just take 130 seconds off. Be fine. Let's see what happens to Damien here. He does, yeah.
Yep, it was assisted. Was assisted. Very unfortunate.
So that concludes the very interesting pit stop race. Sorry, race for tonight.
Yes.
That certainly spiced it up with that 120-second pit stop window right in the centre of the race.
That's just craziness.
Oh.
Absolute craziness.
That's going to be interesting to see what the opinions of the drivers are.
Yes.
If they want to come in for an interview, I can't blame them if they don't want to tonight, to be honest. But yeah, so the race started with Lewis in the lead, and he never looked back, really, did he?
No, very, very dominant win. As with his previous outings, and the top 3 are the exact same top 3 from standings. So
I think Lewis may have just secured his championship. Now we have Lewis in the waiting room. We're just going to drag him in. Do you want to take over the interview, Sam?
Sure. Evening, Lewis.
Evening.
So, do I dare ask how that race was for you?
It was code brown because for about an hour I had 3 track limit warnings.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. The start of the race didn't go to plan, and we got 3 in about 2 laps.
Oh.
So yeah, I was driving conservatively but fast enough that I wasn't going to be caught. So yeah, I had to manage that the whole race, and with the pit window issue as well being 2 minutes instead of, I think it should have been 10. Obviously happens, it's human error, which is fine, but we had to maximise that so that we could make sure we still got the win, and we did. So yeah, another good week and carried on the unbeaten run.
Yeah. I mean, that puts a very interesting slant on the race for us, actually, because, and from the comms box, and it looked a very, very comfortable race for you. Clearly very, very dominant. So very interesting to know that the first half you were, contending with having track limit warnings so early on in the race. So well done for that. How do you like Imola? Do you like driving here?
I like it a lot more now, that's for sure. I had quite a struggle with the setup at first. Pace was still really good, but I just couldn't get it handling consistently. Dropped the wing a few clicks this morning before the race, and I found another 3/10, which just made me go up that extra gear and didn't quite maximise my quali. Obviously, it's great to be on pole, but you're against yourself most of the time in terms of in any lap in quali. And I didn't quite get that 49, but I think overall, another solid weekend. We go into the last round of the championship with 2 races, and we can win it the next round. So it's just about keeping it on the track and, securing the championship now, I guess.
Excellent. Yeah. So are you looking forward to the double round at Donington next time out?
Yeah, it's going to be great. Donington's probably my best track over sort of the calendar. So, I think it's potential for another strong round. Strong round being pole and win. So anything less, I think, will be stuff we need to work on for next season. I think that's got to be the target, and just keep improving. So, but congrats to everyone else. It's not an easy class of car to drive, and for 75 minutes it's quite on edge. So respect to everyone else, really.
Yeah, well, thank you for giving us an interesting race to watch. So thank you very much, and we look forward to an amazing round from you at Donington next time out.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
And Kieran, I believe you're in with us as well. How are you?
Hello. Yeah, I'm very good. Congratulations to Lewis, and well done, Matt.
Hi, Kieran.
Hi, Chris.
So how did you find that race for you, Kieran?
It was good. Need to do some more practice next time. I literally only did an hour's practice before. Car felt good out of the box though. I just couldn't keep up with Lewis's consistency. Maybe I could have kept up with his outright pace, but no, not his consistency. He was just on it. He was doing like 50.8 basically every lap. It's difficult to do.
Yeah, consistency is definitely one of the key things. It's easy enough to put out a single hot lap, but you got to do it over and over and over again. So what do you try to do what sort of practice do you try to do to try and get consistency? Try to help build your consistency.
You really, in my opinion, you just got to do race runs over and over again if you want to build your consistency. It's probably the best way to do it. Figure out how the tyre degrades over the course of a stint, and just go from there.
Oh, okay. So how did you manage the challenge with the pit stops and the pit stop window not going quite to plan? How did that work out for you?
Oh yeah, I my plan was to go maybe like 3 or 4 laps longer than what that pit window was, just to hopefully try and stay out of traffic from people behind. But I guess everyone, because it was such a tight pit window, basically everyone pitted at the same time, so there was no traffic behind when you came back out again. So it worked out well.
Okay, so it didn't upset your initial strategy too much?
No, not really, no. It would have been annoying if I'd fueled short for the first stint and then couldn't make it to that pit window, but no, it all worked out.
And then are you looking forward to the final round at Donington? Or the final 2 rounds at Donington, I should say?
Yeah, Donington's one of those circuits I actually do enjoy racing at. Imola's never been a good circuit for me. It's not that I don't enjoy it, I can never do a good lap around there for some reason. But Donington's definitely more my cup of tea.
And do you like the short super sprint format that we're going to have next round?
Yeah, way more. I'm really abusive on my tyres, so the half an hour race is perfect for me. It means I don't have to worry about any tyre wear.
Okay. And do you alter your practice, the way in which you practice going into a super sprint versus a longer race lane like the 75-minute we had tonight?
No, not really. Just do the race stint. I think I find it's the best way to practice. But yeah, for Donington, I'm going to actually do quite a bit more practice to try and really take it to Lewis, because I feel like we've had some good races, and when I don't practice, I seem to be fairly off of them. So need to actually do that.
Then definitely looking forward to it. Thank you very much for coming and joining us and giving us a great race. We shall see you next time round out.
Yeah. See ya.
Bye.
And evening, Matt. How are you?
Not too bad. Pretty chilled after that one, to be honest.
So, how did you find the race overall?
Not too bad. Sorry, I was pressing the wrong button. Push sort of there.
Okay.
Yeah, not too bad. I knew that I wouldn't be able to keep up with the pace of the McLarens and the Porsches that qualified in front of me, but that's just the nature of the Ginetta. It's the challenge that you take on when you choose that car. So yeah, just happy to get to the end and lucked into the podium a little bit, but yeah, just happy to be here, to be honest.
And how did the change in pit stop affect you? Did you find that it affected your strategy at all?
No, not at all. It was when I was planning to pit anyway, and I was in the right place on the track that it didn't affect my strategy. So the pit stop went pretty much as planned, in all honesty.
Okay. When we did see the drive-through pop up after your pit stop, was that for a pit stop infringement or was that for track limits?
I didn't have a drive-through. It
My
was
apologies. Sorry.
it was the Porsche in front of me that I wouldn't have been able to catch anyway. So whether if he hadn't have got the drive-through, then I probably would have still finished fourth. So it was nice to gain the position and get a few more points on the board, but not really in a position to say that I earned it. It's just happened to be there.
Oh, my apologies, Matt. Sorry for getting that confused. So, how are you looking forward to the next round at Donington? Is Donington a track that you go well at?
Yeah, it's one of my favourite tracks. I did quite well in another series a few years ago in the Ginetta as well at Donington. So it's somewhere that I tend to run quite well at, and I think the sprint format might suit the Ginetta a little bit more. At Donington, there's not really any huge places where you can lose too much in a straight line. So a lot of the key points with the Ginetta outperforms a lot of the other cars, really shine a lot more at Donington. So hopefully it can be a good round and maybe cause a bit of an upset with the top two.
Excellent. Looking forward to it. So are you going to be putting in lots of practice between now and then?
Some. I'll probably focus on qualifying a little bit. As usual, it's with the Ginetta, it's one of the main things that you have to focus on, is getting that grid position and trying to fend off from there. It's not really a car that around tracks like Imola and other places that we visited that you can really fight forward, especially against the cars like the McLaren and the Porsche. So I'll probably focus on qualifying a little bit and then work on a little bit of race trim, and just see if I can outrace the guys in front.
Excellent. Oh, thank you very much for joining us, Matt. Great to see you, Len. Great to see you had a good race tonight, and we look forward to seeing you next time out.
Thank you very much. Let's hope so.
Right. Who else have we got in? Dennis Verhoven, you've come and joined us as well. How are you, Dennis?
I'm good, thanks.
Good. So how was your race this evening?
The first 15 minutes were quite eventful because I started from pretty much last, and somehow I avoided all the accidents that were happening and all the touches, and somehow I became P2 in the end in my class.
Yeah. So why did you start so far back? Was there a problem or?
What I invalidated my qualifying lap a few times, and on the final run, it was like 2 minutes left. I had an incident with someone, so the qualifying down the drain. But luckily, it didn't matter that much.
Yeah, so sometimes
maybe it's for the better.
Yeah, so sometimes it does work out that way. So certainly see it quite a lot in public lobbies where people, hadn't hold back to let all of the carnage ahead clear out of the way and gain some easy positions. But how did you manage the change in strategy around the pit stops with the shorter pit stop window? Did it affect you much?
Not much. I had enough fuel for maybe like 2 or 3 more laps. So basically, when the pit window opened, I just went in, and it didn't affect me that much. I was more reading the messages from how long the pit stop window was. It was more like, oh, it's only 2 minutes. So I was quite happy when I saw disregard the pit window. I was like, okay, then it's not a problem if I miss it.
Yeah. Yeah. And how about Donington for the next round out? Is it a track that you enjoy?
Yeah, I enjoy it a lot, but I haven't driven it there with the GT4 yet, so that's fair.
Okay. So it'll be a bit of a learning curve for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, but see, as my usual practice goes, there doesn't be that much practice. Usually I just log in on the night and how it's going. And it's working out so far, so.
Yeah, not too bad. Excellent. Okay. Well, thank you very much, friend, for joining us this evening and having a great race. And we look forward to seeing you at Donington.
Yeah, thank you as well.
Thank you. Right. Thomas Van Schaik. Am I pronouncing that right, Thomas? Or am I absolutely mullering it?
A little bit, but it doesn't matter. It's Thomas van Schaik.
Schaik.
Yeah,
Okay.
Almost. It's close.
Almost. I am trying.
Yeah, of course. It's different.
So how was your race tonight, Thomas?
Very surprising result for me. Didn't expect to have this much pace today, since I didn't get that much practice in. So in qualifying, I set a lap time that I just didn't imagine was possible. So I started quite high up the grid, and then I was surprised that I could keep up with all the pro guys, and watch some good battles between them going on.
Excellent. Then it's always nice when you have the surprise pace that you don't expect.
Yeah, it was was a good feeling for once, instead of normally it's the other way around. So.
So were you affected at all by the change in the pit stop window? Did it affect your strategy at all, or was it?
A little bit, not that much. I was planning to go into the pit like 3 or 4 laps later. But,
Okay.
Yeah, in the end, it didn't really bother me that much. I had enough of a gap to P2 in the class. So in the end, didn't have that much pressure from behind, so it was fine. Could adapt to it.
And then is Imola a track that you normally enjoy?
Yeah, I enjoy this track very much. We did with a lot of friends, a lot of laps on this, a lot of races. So it's definitely a track that I know a lot better than Donington for next time around.
Right. So Donington, you're not quite as familiar with as Imola.
No, we haven't raced it that much, and for me as well, it's going to be my first big GT4 race on Donington. So gonna need to find some time to put some practice in.
Okay. And then how about the short sprint format? Do you like that format compared to the longer 75-minute race that we had this evening?
Yeah, it's a lot closer to the normal online races that we drive, which are normally between 20 and 25 minutes. So it's a little bit more than what I'm used to. But, I normally enjoy the 1 hour or even longer races a little bit more. It's just I like the management part that comes in those longer races.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, just trying to manage the tires, manage the fuel, that kind of stuff. But yeah, it should be good.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining us and giving us some great racing this evening. And we'll wish you best of luck with your practice and look forward to seeing you at Donington.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, Sam, thank you very much for conducting the post-race interviews. Very, very well done as usual.
Thank you.
Some great insights there of the drivers, how they reacted to the surprise pit stop. I think all that's left to say is Lewis Dykes wins at Imola with Kieran Vidago second. With 100 points up for grabs at the final race at Donington, can Kieran catch Lewis and become champion? Come join us for the final round in 2 weeks' time. I've been very, very kindly joined by Sam Pearce tonight. Thank you very much for your time. I'm Chris Hill. Good night, everybody.
Good night.